Going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, maybe? It says you're live, but like the thing's not up yet, so it usually takes a second. Let me see. Okay, we're live. We're live. All right, guys, welcome to the second official episode of the podcast. Today, my guests include Matt and Myranda. You go and say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Okay, so well, I'm lagging real bad. It looks like. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. I hope this one, because the last time I did this, the first video didn't work. Well, I got viewers, so I guess it's working. The first thing on the agenda to talk about today is actually The Gentleman. So, I remember when this film came out, I wanted to see it from the trailer. I was going to go see it in the theater. Matt, here in the Discord with me, he actually told me it was one of the best films he'd ever seen, and I agree with him. I ended up going to see it after he told me that, and I saw it 3 times in the theater. It was excellent. So we're going to kind of talk about that real quick here at the beginning before we move into the meat of the podcast. And Matt and Myranda actually watched that film last night, so it's fresh in their heads too. So what aspects of The Gentleman do we want to talk about?
The thing that stuck out with me, I like how it's told from a perspective of Fletcher in the beginning. I thought whenever it came in with Fletcher, and the way he was talking about it with his movie script and everything, I thought it was very interesting because I've never really watched a movie that way. And then it would also continue off of it at the end, like the actual storyline, but a continuation of basically what Fletcher was talking about in real time.
Yeah, and I guess spoiler alert or whatever, but the fake out death at the beginning, I thought that was really, really good. I like that a lot.
I remember whenever we watched it, as soon as Michael got on the phone and you hear the gunshot, Myranda gasped right away.
Yeah.
You don't have to call me out like that. But I thought that's actually one of my most favorite parts of the movie because it leads you on for so long. And at the end, well, towards the end, obviously, he saves Michael. And I love that. I really, really love that.
Yeah, it's really unexpected. And I like that quite a bit, too. And I like how the film played out that none of the good guys, none of the good guys die. And usually in a crime film like that, somebody's going to die, but none of the people that you're supposed to root for actually die by the end of them, which is really cool.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I even thought they had an amazing cast. Whenever I first saw it, it said they had a B-rated cast. People that wouldn't be good for it, but I thought it was an excellent cast. They all did extremely well. Even McConaughey, I wasn't really a fan of McConaughey before. Yeah. I'll be honest, but I thought he did amazing. And also, Ray, who played who's played by Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam. Yeah, he's great.
He is amazing.
Oh man, he's great in that movie. I absolutely adored his character. He's really funny.
Was so good.
Everybody in that movie did a really great job. The standout for me is Colin Farrell as the coach. He is my favorite character in the movie. I love.
Oh yes. I didn't expect him to be one of my favorites. I expected him to just be a side character that I wouldn't really worry about or truly enjoy. But he really pops out the first time you see him.
I agree with that too. The first scene, when he's in the restaurant and he beats up those 3 kids at each, oh man, he's so funny. And I love the favors he does and everything like that. And there's so many things that work really well in the movie, the gangster scenes where they do the fight porn or whatever.
That is really good.
It is really good.
That was extremely well made.
I agree completely. That was some of my favorite parts of the movie. And the soundtrack is really, really good for the entire film. The soundtrack is just amazing, beginning to end. I love it.
My favorite song in the entire movie is the intro. whenever you see the smoke figures, that song fits so well in my opinion. It's amazing.
It does. I like that, and I like the final song that plays with when Michael comes back to the room and his wife's in there or whatever, and that song plays at like the tail end of the movie. I love that. It just concludes it.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I'm trying to think what else I wanted to talk about with it. I like I like it when movies can mix different genres of music really well. Like that song at the beginning, and the song at the end, that's like a classic rock stuff. But they had like rap in the movie and stuff like that, and it all works really well with the soundtrack. Like
I thought it was also an extremely well made and put together soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
I thought honestly the fight porn song is probably one of my favorites just because they like did it just for that, and I thought it was extremely well made.
Boxes of Bush.
I just thought it was really good, and it made me laugh a lot. Like it made me thoroughly enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. I love the Boxes of Bush scene, and I love that it plays at like the very end of the film, like after the credits roll. I love that the song plays again. It's a really, really fun song, and it reminds me a lot of Django Unchained, the Tarantino film, because he mixes like Western soundtracks. Yeah, Sam in the chat, she says that was her favorite part of the movie too. The Boxes of Bush scene. The Django Unchained, like it mixes like the rap style music, but it also has like Western music, and like there's scenes where it like completely mixes, and like it's a Western remix of rap songs. I really like that, and I feel like The Gentleman kind of nails that with the soundtrack too.
Now I was never one who actually watched Unchained. However, it's been on my list for a while. And after hearing you talk about it, I might have to go watch it after this.
It's fantastic, man. My favorite scene in the movie, in The Gentleman, I think it's the scene where they take I can't remember his name, when they kidnap the guy that's like in charge of the newspaper and the thing. No. The guy that's like in charge of like the newspaper and shit like that, the magazines. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, isn't his name Dave?
Yeah, Dave. And like, he wakes up.
The pig scene.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the movie with the pig, and he's like, you might want to have a hot drink. I'm like, oh
yeah. That was really good. That was one thing I really did not expect. And then whenever Ray gets to see it on the laptop, he's like, that's disturbing, and the other guy says nightmare fuel. He's never gonna live it down. It's so good, and I thought it was actually one of the funniest parts of the movie for me.
Yeah, and they play it off so well, because that could have been something like really disgusting and disturbing, but they play it off completely as comedy, and I love that. I think The Gentleman is one of the most underrated films of the year. Like it really was. It's so good.
Like whenever I went to see it, I was really confused. The person I went to see it with, they saw it, and I looked up a trailer for it, and like I said, I looked up an article for it, and they said it was going to be a B-rated movie with a B-rated cast, so it's not really going to be that good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it deserves so much more recognition. I think a lot of people should be talking about it, especially now, even after a good, what has it been, like?
Few months.
6 months.
Probably about 6 months, yeah.
Yeah, that's been out. It really deserves more hype than what it got. I even think right now it should be even spoken about.
I agree completely. I love The Gentleman. Like when you were telling me about it, I was like, it can't be that good. And then I went and saw it. It was that good. It was fantastic. One of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
And I'm glad I went and saw it. And I'm glad I saw it 3 more times.
Yeah. Well, what's your favorite part of the film, Miranda?
Really any scene with the coach in it. I like his character a lot. But I have to say that the pig scene, it gave me Pulp Fiction vibes.
Yeah, I
like,
agree with that.
I wasn't expecting anything to happen. Like I was hoping that nothing would be chipped. Same thing, like kind of like a ditto moment with what happened in that one particular scene in Pulp Fiction. I didn't like that part, but it was surprising that.
It reminded me of an episode of Black Mirror. I don't know if either of you have ever seen that, but the the first episode of Black Mirror is about a prime minister of England that actually has to fuck a pig to save a princess.
Oh, Jesus.
So it reminded me of that. It's like the same plot. And I was like, oh, wow. The English people, like, there must be something with pigs.
No.
I don't know what it is.
The only Black Mirror thing I saw was Bandersnatch.
That's one I didn't see.
It's okay. It's really okay. I mean, if you have the time to sit down like 2 hours, maybe 2.5, and that's asking a lot for an interactive movie. You know, I really think it's asking a lot of you for you to be able to sit down, play the whole thing, get a decent ending, maybe, and then go back through and then try and get the other endings. I don't think it's really worth it. I did it. I did like 3 different endings, I think, and it was just weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool for Netflix to do interactive stuff like that. Interactive movies. It's a cool
Yeah, I
premise.
100% agree. I feel like it probably could have been done differently, though, and probably better.
I guess, is there anything else anybody wanted to add about The Gentleman before we get into the main topic of this episode?
I think I'm good. Ryan, you have anything?
No.
Okay. Well, the rest of this episode, shy of the first 11 minutes that we did, is actually going to be about anime. We have like a list of topics to discuss. So the first one I wanted to talk about is Attack on Titan. I wanted to bring that one up first, just kind of discuss it. But I didn't realize this when I was writing it down. Matt, you haven't seen season 2 yet, right?
Yeah, I saw just the first episode of season 2.
First episode.
But I remember season 1 pretty vividly.
And Miranda, have you seen any of it?
Yes, but I gave up after like mid-season 2 because I hated it.
I thought season 1, like I don't want to talk too much about season 2 because Matt hasn't seen it, but I thought season 1 was maybe Miranda will agree with me, like some of the best anime that I've ever seen. I thought it was really, really good. And like I didn't know anything about it going in. Like the only thing I knew about it when I started watching it was like the giant naked people, like, and there's walls.
That's the way to describe them.
Yeah, that's like, and then you're like,
The Titans.
You're like, this show is really popular. Like it looks fucked up. It's a bunch of naked people like stomping on people, and then you watch it. It's so good. Like the first episode is like so emotional, and it just like drags you in. I don't know how she quit halfway through season 2. Like, I really enjoy season 2 and 3. I think they're great. What I've seen.
I think one of my most favorite things about it. Now, granted, I love things like just the aesthetics of it with the walls and the small cities, like little villages and stuff. I think that's really, really appealing to me. But also, another thing that's appealing, not only do they have that, their gear they use for the corps that actually go out, attack the Titans, scavenge, go around the walls that were invaded. I think that's a really cool addition and obviously very original. The entire thing is original. I've obviously never seen anything like it. It's really good. And I think the first season alone, like if it was just the first season alone and they finish it in the first season, I still think it would be as widely regarded as one of the best as it is today.
Yeah, I can agree with that. The only part I disagree with is like there are a lot of things that they set up, like the basement and the keys and things like that. I would be very upset if they didn't like shine more light on them. One of the reasons I think like season 2 isn't as well liked, and maybe this is the reason why Miranda doesn't like it. There's a 4-year gap in between season 1 and 2.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Season 1 came out in 2013. Season 2 didn't come out till 2017, late 2017.
I completely forgot because like after I watched the first season, I was waiting around looking up articles to see whenever it would actually come out, and then over time I just eventually gave up. But then as soon as season 2 dropped, I think I watched the first episode and maybe a little bit of the second one. Because I remember that one kid, I forget his name, but he's bald, and he goes to his own village and he finds all of the smaller Titans around his own house, and he says they look familiar. And then that's whenever it clicks in my mind, something definitely is going on.
Mhm.
And like that, I was hyped to figure out what was in the basement and to get more about Aaron's father's backstory and everything. But I'm probably gonna finish season 2 and season 3 soon.
It's a good idea, and I haven't seen much of season 3 at all. I've seen season 2, and I really liked what I saw with season 2. Not as much as season 1, but I still thought it was pretty damn good. I like the to keep the discussion more on season 1. I love the soundtrack for season 1, especially.
Yeah,
how it's really thrilling and operatic and shit.
it is. It is. I agree.
It reminds me a lot of Death Note, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. Like the,
I also think a lot of anime they have really like I don't want to say cheap, but their fight music isn't the best.
I
and
agree.
It feels kind of just like a carbon copy of the next one. But Attack on Titan, they really shot it out of the park for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I really like where they took season 1, and I like everything they did with it. I thought it was awesome. Like with me, I didn't know anything about like Eren being able to turn into a Titan or anything like that. I had no idea. And like the scene where he like gets his arm bit off and then the thing swallows him, I was like, what? You know?
Yeah.
Like when you're first watching it, like Armin like is just screaming because Eren just died, and you're like, what? It's like only like 5 or 6 episodes in because he turns into the Titan to escape. But like when I first watched it, I was like, what the fuck? It's like, wasn't he supposed
Yeah,
to
I
be
thought
the
it was
main
over
character?
there.
It was really good.
Yeah, and I think that's actually one of the best times to do it. I actually think so. Like if you're gonna have a reveal like that, I think it's actually really good to do it like episode 5 because season 1 wasn't that long. I don't think.
It's like 25 episodes, I think.
Oh, that's a lot more than I remember, actually.
Yeah, there's like 24, 25 episodes, I believe, in season
but
1.
still, I think it was a good time to do it because it's a lot more time to develop his story and then throw more things in there about it and whatnot.
Yeah. I really like season 1. I thought the pacing was done really well for season 1. You know, like a lot of anime just fucking filler, but there's no filler. It was all story, and I love anime like that just gets right to the point. All right, Myranda, I gotta put you on the spot again. I gotta ask, what don't you like about season 2 of Attack on Titan, Myranda? I gotta know.
Well, watching anime in the beginning was a phase because I first heard it from Skydo's Minecraft because he would make references to Attack on Titan. So I went and watched it, which was like early on into it. So I had to wait that long period of time, and whenever I went back to watch all those years later, it was kind of just so drawn out that it was just tedious to watch. It was boring because I felt like I knew where I was going, but hearing what you've been saying about it, I obviously did not. And I regret not watching.
See, it's funny that you bring that, like, that's the way you found it, because that's the exact same way I found it. Was from, like, the Minecraft YouTubers, like Sky Does Minecraft, and I think Jerome might have even talked about it once. And that's how I watched it in 2013. But the thing is with me, I think why I got into season 2 so easily is because, like, every few months, like, I wasn't, like, on top of the release date, you know, like checking. But every few months, I'd like look it up and be like, "Is it coming yet?" And like, I probably rewatched the first season like 5 or 6 times just because I really, really liked it. So I was like ready for season 2 when it came out because I just rewatched it a couple months in advance. But I see where you're coming from. Like when you return to a story after not watching it for 4 years, and you're like especially a TV show, because you could do that with a film. Because a film kind of has like a book ending, whereas a TV show, like if there's going to be another season, it's not an ending, you know?
Yeah.
And it'd be hard to like just continue that like that. I can see why Now, the next one I want to talk about on our list is going to get kind of controversial because of I don't know if I can't remember if Matt feels the same way about this one that I do, but I want to talk about Death Note, the anime first. Then we'll talk about the Netflix film. What do you think about like it as a series, Matt? What do you think about Death Note?
The anime?
Yeah.
I actually, again, original ideas. I really enjoy that. I like whenever it's not just a carbon copy of this guy has powers, he's thrown into it. It's something different. And they even throw conflict in there with another person who's just like Light. Or not is it Light? Is that the main character's name? I completely forget. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they throw in that one girl. She's just like him. She has her own book, but she has the Shinigami eyes, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's so original, and like I think that's really why it caught all the praise, because no one really expected an anime like that to come out. No one really expected a show like that to come out, where like it was life or death with just a name and your face on a book. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really, really good, especially with his father being a cop. And then whenever they brought in the detective, I thought that was really, really good. He's super smart. Yeah, L. He's super, super smart, and he adds that conflict power with Light, because they're both extremely smart, talented, and Light plays it off perfectly. Now, I will be honest, I never got to the last episode. I was a few episodes off. But I remember the entire other part of the series, and it was really good from what I watched. I actually did enjoy it.
I have very, very mixed feelings about Death Note. I really like the music. I love how dramatic it is. Like, even when he's that scene where he's like eating the potato chips and like the music's like swelling and everything, I'm like, what show puts like dramatic music over eating potato chips? But like, again,
I thought that was really good.
It's one of those anime that's only 37 episodes long, beginning to end. There's no filler, and I like that. But we're getting into spoiler territory here for the Death Note anime. After they kill off L about halfway through, and then they see, I loved the anime. I loved everything they did. I thought it was almost a perfect anime. Like, you remember the episode where he kills that woman, that FBI agent?
Yeah.
He makes her commit suicide, and like at the end, like there's like the metaphorical stairs and her like walking to the noose.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, God damn, I'm supposed to root for this guy? You know, like,
yeah,
he's the main character. I'm supposed to root for him. And then like there's L, and he's funny, but he's also like extremely smart. And the way he died, I was like, I don't know. And then instead of like, in my opinion, the perfect finale would have been like a battle between Light and L, like, you know, one outwitting the other one. I didn't love the new characters that they threw in the end. That's what I was getting to. They fucking curveball that shit so fast, because they kill L off and they leave 12 episodes left, and then they're like right out of left field. There's two more detectives that are like equally as smart as L, and they come out of nowhere, and like the ending is very convoluted. Matt, you didn't see it, but it's like it's really, really complicated. And I was like, what the fuck happened? Like the first 25 episodes, and they changed like the intro too. Like the intro was perfect. It was awesome. And they changed it to like that death metal shit.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the death metal. I think whenever an anime has their first opening, it's so attached to that whenever they change it, it's just not the same. Even if it is good, I feel like they should just not change it until season to season.
One anime that I will talk about later that I like the openings is One Piece. There's like 19 different openings, and all of them are pretty damn good. We'll talk
I can't
about
agree
that later.
With that.
But the fucking like, and it was so bad. Like, I'm okay with an anime, you know, changing theme songs like from time to time, because it happens. But goddamn, they chose the shittiest one. It's like, it doesn't fit with the theme show. Like, Light isn't, even when he was doing evil things in the first part of the anime, he was still, a likable character. You still
I agree.
But like after Elle dies, you don't care what happens to him anymore. It
kind of sucks.
Now getting into equally controversial territory, the Netflix Death Note film. Wow.
Now I won't. If I can I start on this, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought it doesn't follow the story exactly, but I also thought it was a pretty good film. I don't like how they just changed the characters and make them different than from the movie. I feel like they should have tried to stick with it as close as they possibly could. They didn't with Elle and the girl. They were definitely way different, and I would have preferred them to be kind of the same. It would have really pulled me in more than what it did. They gave Light and that girl like high school romance, love, and stuff, and I wasn't a fan of that. I
really
like it's just it was weird. Especially the part whenever they're getting chased by the police and they're running through the halls and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it ends, I thought was actually pretty good with the Ferris wheel and everything. But other than that, I thought it was actually a decently well-made film. And I actually did enjoy it.
Here's an opinion that's going to piss a lot of people off. I absolutely love the film, love it more than the anime. In fact, I would argue it's one of my favorite Netflix original films that they've done. Because it's so original to the story. What they could have done is done a carbon copy, storyline by storyline remake of the anime completely, just in live action. That's what Japan did, because there is a Death Note live action film in Japan, and that's exactly what they did. But they changed a lot, and I love that. Like even like the decisions to make the characters different, they Americanized it, which is what I guess the point of it was. And like I remember there was a big controversy when it came out that they cast an African American man to play L. I thought he did a fucking great job. I really liked him, and I liked he was different, because in the anime, as much as I loved L's character, I didn't think he was aggressive enough. And like in the show, they show that or in the movie, they show that L is like not just a shell, like without emotion. Like I don't want to get too into spoiler, but a character very close to him in the film dies, and he gets pissed off, and like he actually shows emotion, and I like that. And the thing you were talking about not liking the high school romance story, I actually really, really loved it, because in the anime, the contrast between Mikasa, and that was her name, right? In the anime, was it Mikasa?
Yeah,
I can't remember what her name was. No, Mikasa. I think that's Attack on Titan. I can't remember what the girl's name.
Just a leading female.
I know. I can't remember what her name was in Death Note.
Her name is Misa.
Misa is close. Misa. The contrast between Misa and Light in the anime is disgusting, in my opinion. He literally just uses her. Like he just fucking uses her. Like he's like.
I never finished the anime, so I didn't really get to see what happened with him and Misa the whole time.
Well,
so I was kind of unaware about that.
Well, he has her. Remember how she shortened her lifespan? She cut it in half for the Shinigami eyes.
Yeah.
She got rid of the Death Note, remember? So she lost that power.
Yeah.
He made her do it again and cut her lifespan again.
Oh.
He's really, really shitty to her for the whole anime. He like just uses her. He just like completely uses her like for his own personal gain. But like in the in the Netflix film, like they have this contrast, they kind of believe in the same thing, like this justice that they think is right, and they she wants to use it for her thing, and like he kind of has to outsmart her, and she ends up becoming the antagonist at the end on the Ferris wheel in a way. And like in like the whole film, like a lot of people argue that Light wasn't as smart as he was in the anime, but at the end he's still like he really does a play there and really outplays her, like with the page and everything falling into the fire.
Yeah, I thought the Ferris wheel scene was honestly, it's probably my favorite
Mine too.
scene of the whole movie. It was good effects. It really looked good, and it actually did pull me onto the edge of my seat.
Yeah, and I liked oh god, I can't remember his name. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Alexa, who played the Green Goblin in Spider-Man? Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah!
Willem Dafoe as Ryuk was a great choice. Absolutely fantastic. Like he was so good. And
I agree.
I think the whole film was just done really well. And then like I know it's a lot different from the anime, and that's what a lot of people complain about, but they really Americanized this Japanese story, and they made a lot of it more believable in my opinion. And I like the ending. And that's like a place that the the anime like left me at that sour taste in my mouth at the very end. Like I was like, I wasn't a fan of it. Now, Miranda, you only watched the film, right? You didn't watch the anime. So what's like the perspective of someone who's only watched the film? Like what do you feel about it for only watching the movie?
Okay, so I adored it. I thought it was amazing, but after watching the film, I had heard a lot about people being upset about it not being similar to the proper series, and I watched some of it, and I hated it. It was bad. It was really bad, Michael.
You hated the anime or the movie?
Yes, the anime. I abhorred it with my whole being, every fiber of it. It is so slow burn, and I think that the movie, though it has a lot of differences, I think it was a lot better for people with short attention spans like myself. Regardless of the ending not exactly being similar, I think they did it a lot better, movie-wise.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's why
maybe after this, I'm gonna have to finish the anime and revisit the movie.
I wish you luck with that ending of the anime, man. It is.
See, it's funny because anytime I hear people talk about the anime and the ending of it, they thought it was good.
Really?
Yeah, I've like online forums and whatnot, but I have some close friends who in real life actually did enjoy the ending, but like never spoiled it for me. They just enjoyed it. So maybe I'll finish it after this.
I was never a fan of the ending, but then again, like I didn't really view the show as in the same like way, because when L was alive, like I just started Death Note and I was watching episode after episode, and when he died, it took me weeks to finish it because it felt like a chore to get through it after L died. I just wasn't a fan of it anymore. It just felt like,
I understand that.
And I know, it was for story reasons, but if it was for story reasons to kill L off at that point, they should have definitely done it better than they did, because it was very cheap to me, very cheap.
Now, I don't remember how L died.
Light kind of outsmarts him. I forget how he does it. I don't know if like he had Misa do something. I forget what it is. Somehow he outsmarts L, and he gets his real name and he kills him. But and then Light is like magically in charge of the task force to look for Kira, and I'm like, what? He should be the number one suspect,
Yeah.
But yeah. Is
I
that?
don't know.
Go ahead.
I actually was not a fan of the art style. I was not a fan of the art style.
Yeah, it felt really gothic to me, and I could see where you're coming from, but I think it fit really well. Like especially like when there's Ryuk in like the Shinigami realm, and it's very gothic. It feels very gothic, and I kind of enjoyed that aspect of it, feeling that way.
Yeah, I could see that. I just it really does feel like for me those 1970 vibes with the eyes, how it's drawn, everything's kind of dark outline,
Mm-hmm.
But I can see with the gothic look, I'll say, can be appealing. For me, it just wasn't. I can definitely see it on Misa though, and definitely the Shinigami, especially Ryuk. I thought Ryuk was actually. I think Ryuk's my favorite character in both the movie and the anime.
I agree. He's a really good character. Is that all we have to talk about for the Death Note film? Was there anything else anybody wants to add before we move on to the next topic?
I'm good for both.
What about you, Miranda?
No.
Okay. The other thing I want to talk about, I wanted to talk about the other Netflix series that they or the other two Netflix properties they're adapting to live action. I know that neither of you, sadly, have seen Cowboy Bebop, so I don't want to sit on that for too long. That is something that we're going to have to sit down and watch for sure, all three of us. Cowboy Bebop is my favorite anime.
I've heard it's really good. It's one of the best.
It is. And I don't know if Miranda would like it because it is a slow burn.
Okay.
But it just has this feeling to it. Like, it feels like a Western, but an anime, and it's in space, and it's really good. It's really, really good. Now,
yeah, I know. Like the
there are a lot of casting rumors, but one that I'm really excited for, and I hope it's true, is let me see if that's still a thing, because I think they cast him. I know originally they were talking about casting Benedict Cumberbatch for the main character, but I think that they changed it to somebody else. But hold on, let me look that up. I'm looking for it. They did. Let me find him. Do either of you guys know who John Cho is?
Yeah.
He was in Searching.
Mm-hmm.
He has been cast to play the main character in the Cowboy Bebop live-action Netflix adaptation.
Really?
Yeah, and I think he is going to do it really well. Now, that's another thing that, like, I'm fine with, because even though it's a Japanese, it's a Japanese anime, the main character of Cowboy Bebop was very blatantly supposed to be American. He had, like, an American haircut, like...
Looking at him, I could even tell
he was supposed to be American, but I don't mind that they have a Asian American actor playing him. I don't mind at all, and especially because John Cho is a really, really good actor. Like, I saw him, me and Sam watched him in Searching, and he was fantastic in that movie. Fantastic, he carried it, and I think he would do great things as that character. That character is just hard to adapt, though. That's why there's never been like anything else to touch the anime. It's just, there. It reminds me a lot of Black Lagoon, which is like another... See, those two, I really enjoy those because it's like a look at American culture through the eyes of the Japanese. And that one is also very blatantly American, like it's got more swearing and gunplay than any other anime. Very controversial, but it's really, really good.
Yeah, I never did watch Black Lagoon myself, but seeing all the characters and little fight scenes online, I thought it was very interesting to look at. And again, the art style I thought was also really good.
And they're not allowed to say certain words in Japan, but like in the theme song, there's part of it that's in English, and it's like
really,
yeah, because they're not allowed to say like certain words to keep their anime like a certain rating. But like there's a lyric in the theme for Black Lagoon that says, "For Christ's sakes, this rotten world, shit out of luck, and go with my vision," and all this stuff. I'm like, wow, that's like really intense for an anime because they're like kind of harsh on their rules for what they can say language wise in Japan.
Yeah.
The other live action. Oh, what were you saying, Matt?
I think that's really interesting. Especially with the limited words, especially in the animes, you can definitely tell you have limited words.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, you'll see a damn. That's about it. Occasionally, you'll see a fuck.
Very, very rarely. Like there's one in One Punch Man. Like I watch it subbed, and it like fuck came on the bottom of my screen. I was like, what? In One Punch Man? Really? They're gonna allow that? But I'm fine with it. Yeah, they're not. They use shit from time to time, but I guess it depends on the context. You know?
Yeah, but most of the time you'll really just see damn.
Damn is very popular for anime.
I mean, I'm not against the no saying, you know, fucking shit and whatnot. I think a damn is really okay for me.
Mhm.
And it really does get the point across. But the occasional fucking shit they really do give me a laugh whenever it pops out.
Yeah, especially in anime, because it is very rare for that. You know, even in the ones that are TVMA, like it's very rare because they just don't swear.
Yeah, it's not as common to use as even if they do swear. Yeah, I agree.
The other thing I wanted to talk about for a Netflix adaptation before we started talking about this as a whole is they are talking about doing a One Piece live action series on Netflix.
A series, not even just a movie.
Yeah, this is brand new news. Like it came out in the last couple weeks. They've been discussing it. I'm looking at my phone on some and it is confirmed.
Okay.
There's a studio working on it called Tomorrow Studios. They're the same studio that's working on the Cowboy Bebop adaptation. They ordered 10 episodes. 10 episodes, yeah.
Now, as you say that, I went ahead and Googled really quick. And the first thing that pops up is it's a list of people who they think should play characters. You remember Zoro with the swords, the 3 swords?
Yeah.
Arguably my favorite character. People are saying Zac Efron should play him.
I could see that. I could see him.
And I'm not against that.
I could definitely see him.
Would like that. And Donald Glover as Tony Chopper, I would love that.
That would be great.
If Donald Glover is in this, I will watch it. John Cena as Arlong. Arlong actually, whenever you gave me my the DVDs for One Piece as a gift that one time, I watched them all as soon as I got them. Arlong is one of my favorite characters. That arc in One Piece will forever be one of my favorite One Piece arcs.
Mm-hmm.
And people are saying John Cena should play him, which I think would be actually very amazing. And here's one. You remember Shanks with the red hair?
Shanks,
people are saying Sebastian Stan should play him.
Sebastian Stan. Yeah, Bucky. Now, I think that the toughest one to cast would be Luffy.
People are saying Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
No. I don't think he can do it.
I'm not sure why.
No, I mean, he's young.
I agree. Luffy would be very, very hard. He's energetic. He's very, very funny. You can't deny it. He's very funny.
Oh yeah, he's a very funny anime character.
And serious at times. I don't think Finn can get that across as good as obviously it's gonna be different whenever it's animated. You can get the points across as you want it, how you see fit. But with an actual person playing it, there's definitely more restrictions, and I don't think Finn could get that.
You know who I've been thinking would be a not a bad pick for Luffy? Pete Davidson.
You know what?
I think he could get the smile right and the attitude. I think Pete Davidson could pull off a Luffy very well. And he's young. I think he could do it. Like, Luffy's just very hard to cast for.
Now, actually, one thing I really want to watch, I want to watch King of Staten Island with Pete Davidson. I think that looks amazing.
It looks good. It looks really good. He's a really good actor. He's very funny. Yeah. And I think he could do Luffy. I really do. I think he could do a great Luffy.
Now I'm looking at him right now. See, before I couldn't really picture, but with looking at pictures of him, I can see him pulling off the smile and pulling, because he's actually very funny on SNL. I love watching SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he's on, it's very, very good. Like, my mom and I will sit down and watch SNL, and whenever he's on, it's so good. I actually feel like he could get the Luffy across better than anyone. Honestly, I do agree.
I think so too. I know Myranda probably has like nothing to say at all because she doesn't know a whole lot about the characters, so she probably doesn't know a whole lot about the casting for them. But I don't know. And I don't know what arc they would do. I mean, they'd probably do the first one, but like if they're doing Tony Chopper or whatever, Tony Chopper doesn't come into like the 70th episode or something
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah, so I'm not really sure why. Honestly, I would see them probably just doing like the Arlong arc, and then if they honestly, because I could, if it's pulled off, I can see them 10 more episodes, 15 more episodes, put it right in the bag. Because if Pete Davidson plays, I'm definitely gonna watch it. And if they can pull it off, I could honestly see a whole series.
yeah.
Just not even finishing the arcs, and by not even finishing the arcs, I mean don't do the whole entire thing. Do bits and pieces. You don't have to get everything from the anime because the anime has what are they at, over 200 episodes now or something?
Over 900.
Really? I didn't even know it was that long.
Yeah,
I did not know it was that long.
It is very, very long. Actually, my favorite story arc is like episode 360 to 400. It's the I can't remember. Let me look up what arc that is. It's called the Aeneas Lobby arc. It is so good. One of my favorite arcs of any anime. It runs for 73 episodes. It starts at episode 358. Yeah, that's about where it is. It is so good. That is the arc that got me into One Piece. I really, really like that arc. It's really, really good. So I guess
season 20 now.
Yeah, and they're like, I think it's like the newest episode came out was like 890 something. They're like very close to being over 900.
Actually, I'm looking at it now. It's 930.
Oh, they are over 900 now. Yeah.
Yeah. When is it going to end?
They probably have. I think the creator said 3 to 4 more years because he's like in a couple years he'll be done with the manga. But it is a very long story.
Yeah, because it started in 2019 for the release of the new arc.
Mm-hmm.
Season 20 started in 2019, as I'm looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming they're gonna finish this and probably throw out a few more.
Yeah, probably. There's a lot of story that they have to cover, and there's a lot of filler in One Piece too. But the filler is usually not long.
I hate filler. One of the reasons I never watched or finished Naruto Shippuden.
Naruto Shippuden, yeah, that's very long, very long.
And I heard almost like every 10 episodes there were 2 fillers or something.
Yep, there's a lot in Shippuden. There's not that much in One Piece, not nearly that much, but in Shippuden oh my god, there's so much filler in Shippuden. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why and after someone spoiled my favorite character died, I just decided not to finish it.
I could never put that much time in it. I didn't even finish the original Naruto series. I watched it was on Adult Swim like Saturday night when it was on there. That's about as far as I got with it. But going back to One Piece, I guess we've already started talking about that. Man, I really, really like that show.
Yeah, the art style really gives it off. Luffy's background with the devil fruit, I love that. I love how it is. I love the beginning. Whenever Zoro comes in, that's forever going to be my favorite character. I love Zoro and how Luffy meets him.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good how he comes and meets these people. He's so energetic and happy, and then whenever he gets serious, it's serious. Like with the Argon arc.
Yeah, when she's crying and he puts his hat on her head, that was a really emotional scene. That made me really sad. Right before he had that awesome fight with Arlong, and oh man, that was really good.
It was. I think Naomi. She's probably like my third favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Behind Tony. I love Tony. He's just so cool. He's so funny too.
I like Tony a lot, and I agree.
Yeah,
with
I thought
what you were saying really there, like how he gets his crew. Like he just stumbles on like a few of them, and he's like, "You want to join?" Like, oh my god, what's his name? He's a newer character. he's hold on. Let me. I don't want to get his name wrong. I'm looking it up just to make sure I don't get it right. What was his name? Brooke. He's a skeleton. He's just kind of like playing the piano, and Luffy's like, "Hey, you want to be in my crew?" And he's like, "Yeah, why not?" You know, like,
Skeleton?
huh?
He's a skeleton, you said?
Yeah, that's like way like episode 500, something like that. But it's like
Really?
yeah, it's like really cool. Like it's like some of them characters, and I love Nico Robin. I don't know. That's that very dramatic arc is Aeneas Lobby with Nico Robin. She has powers too from the Devil Fruit. She's like a crew member, and there's this really emotional scene where like they're about to like become wanted by the entire world government and to break her out, and Luffy like yells up to her, and she's like all the way in this like tower, and Luffy yells up to her, "Tell me you want to live," and she just screams, "I want to live." And I was like, wow, that's really good stuff. I think
I remember what you're talking about.
It's one of the best scenes in an anime, in my opinion. Now, I hate to, before I get to that, we were talking earlier about the theme music for like changing. I think like the changes for One Piece are really good, and they go really well with like the different arcs and stuff, you know, like the different changes in themes.
Yeah.
I
think it's I definitely think it's better for animes with obviously over 900 episodes to change a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they have over 100 episodes, they're more than welcome to have a good bit of intro ending changes.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're definitely welcome to that.
I agree. And the ones they pick for One Piece, like the one they use for the starting arc, and like the ones they use for Aeneas Lobby, like they just fit perfectly with that arc, you know.
Yeah, and it does make it better whenever they act do appeal and fit. I like it whenever they also show scenes instead, like from the actual arc that they're going to be in, instead of just like stock of something else, you know.
I agree with that too. Now, again, to call out Myranda. Myranda is not a fan of One Piece at all. She's just been kind of sitting there silently, and I want to know, like, what your reasoning is behind that. Why you don't like One Piece?
Okay, so as I had explained earlier, I really can't get behind things that go beyond like a season because my attention span is very, very short, and I haven't really heard enough about One Piece in order to be interested in it. And what I've read, it makes it seem like a very juvenile, not so serious kind of anime that I wouldn't really be into.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, mentioning that I have not watched it, I guess I shouldn't be forming such opinions. So simply, it's just too long for me to grasp and comprehend because I have a small brain.
Well, the thing is, it presents itself like if you don't watch it, and even if you just watch like the first few episodes, it presents itself. It's very juvenile. I mean, like the first episode, like Luffy makes fun of like this fat woman pirate and then beats the shit out of her, and that's the end of the first episode. That's the first episode, you know, and like it presents itself that way, you know, being very juvenile, like you're saying. But then, like as Matt and me were talking earlier, there's that scene at Arlong Park where Naomi, she's crying, and Luffy has the straw hat, and he puts it on her head, and he goes and he beats the fuck out of Arlong. That is so good, you know. Like that scene made me feel really good. It's really emotional, but it does present itself as juvenile, but there are moments in it that like they really tug at your heart, and it's, you know, see, like every anime, you know, appeals to a different age group, I think. And I think that one, like, it appealed to me when I was like 13 and up, probably 14. But like, on that same spectrum, Attack on Titan appealed to me when I was that age. I started watching them around the same time. And Attack on Titan is much more serious, but I still really enjoyed One Piece, even though it's a little bit more juvenile, like it's funnier. I did enjoy it because of those moments that, they break that mold of it being juvenile for these like moments of like great character growth and emotion. I love that about longer animes, and like I never felt that with Dragon Ball or with Naruto, like some of the other longer ones. I mean, I'm sure if I gave Naruto more of a chance and watched more episodes in order, I would. But like, especially Dragon Ball, I watched a shit ton of Dragon Ball. I've almost seen the whole series. Like, I don't feel that way about Dragon Ball. It's like it's like I sit down and I watch like a dumb 80s action movie that isn't very good. I'm just watching for the fights. And Dragon Ball is so much fucking filler. And it's so much filler they did Dragon Ball Z Kai just to take out the filler because there's so much.
Yeah.
That
it was bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of filler. There's like, isn't there? I'm pretty sure there's like a scene, correct me if I'm wrong, that's like 5 minutes of a character just screaming. Like,
yeah, you're probably talking about whenever Goku goes Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah, it's a very long scene, just a guy screaming. I'm like, why?
Now, I think if they take those out, now the thing with Dragon Ball, it definitely, I feel like it goes more towards those kids who think they're super strong and like they really, for some reason, like feel like they're that character. I feel like that really applies more to those kind of kids and people.
Right.
Which is why it's as popular, probably.
But it doesn't really present itself to kids. That's the thing. That's why I always felt so weird about Dragon Ball, because I see where you're coming from, and that's the same feeling with like Pokemon. And Pokemon projects itself towards children, but Dragon Ball doesn't really project itself towards kids. It more projects it towards like older kids, like pushing teenagers. That's like their target audience, and like
I think it's weird because it projects itself as more towards, obviously, teenage years. But a lot of people who watch it always talk about how they started off watching it young, like super young.
Yeah,
like I remember I was watching Naruto with my dad, like super young on TV. We just sit down and watch Naruto, and then Dragon Ball would come on.
Yeah, but that's adult. I did the same thing.
Yeah, and it's just all these kids start out watching it. And it is projected at an older audience. I would agree, though.
I remember they used to do that Adult Swim. They would show like an episode of Naruto, an episode of Dragon Ball, and then they'd show an episode of Teen Titans. I remember that. That was really good. That the old Toonami stuff.
Toonami was great.
Yeah, I really liked that. For the final like part of it, we still got a little bit to go. I was gonna go person by person, talking about like either our favorite or a couple of our favorite animes that we haven't talked about. And we've already talked about like a bunch of my favorites, like Attack on Titan, One Piece, Cowboy Bebop. One I didn't talk about that is actually probably either my second or first favorite anime is One Punch Man.
Yes.
I adore One Punch Man so much because it's a parody of all the things that we were just talking about. Perfect segue. Like it's a parody of Naruto, of Dragon Ball, of these characters that train episode after episode, filler, and then they get this fight, and then they have to do it all over again. They have to train, filler, and then fight. One Punch Man is a parody of that, whereas the character is just so fucking strong. He hits and they're dead. One punch, and he's just bored. And I love it's such a good premise for an anime. Like we were talking earlier, like that originality.
Yeah.
And they still find a way, because you think that would get boring after a few episodes, just the guy. They find so many ways to like make it interesting. Like he joins that hero association and they give him like such a low ranking, even though he's stronger than like everybody in it. And
I thought it's not only extremely funny, but whenever it is serious, it's also very good then.
I agree. I agree completely.
The only downside, I never watched season 2, but I hear people say it's bad or not as good.
No, season 2's I love it. It's not as good as season 1. I'll give you that.
but it's still really good.
Yeah, but it's another thing. There was years apart, 3 years, I'm pretty sure, in between the 2 seasons. Which it's that gap thing that they do. But I did enjoy season 2. The only problem is I did not like the ending of season 2 because they started so many storylines and they didn't end any of them.
Okay, so they're just setting up for the next few seasons right away.
Yeah, they're already like laying pipe, and instead of that, I wanted to see some conclusion. But in season 2, there's this hero you get introduced to. I forget his name, but he's supposed to be like this big bad motherfucker. And as it turns out, like it's really funny. He's always in the right place at the right time, and like a hero, like Saitama defeats a monster, and he's right there, and they're like, "Oh, you did it," and he's like, "Yeah, I did it," even though he has no power at all, and he's like rank 1.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like rank 1 superhero, and Saitama starts like hanging out with him, and he beats his ass in video game. He beats Saitama's ass in video games all the time. It's so fucking funny. Like they're like playing video games, and he's like they're drinking beer, and like there's real shit going on, like real problems. And like in this season, Saitama doesn't fight like at all. He's just like playing video games for a lot of it. Yeah, it's funny, and like he's with the guy, and like Saitama's like broke like 4 or 5 of his controllers, and he has to go buy more. And the guy's like, maybe you'll beat me one day, like a toxic player on Rocket League or something. He's like, maybe one day you'll get good.
That's bad.
Yeah, he's literally like that, and it's so funny. And even like the side characters, it's really good. And I want to see where it goes. I'm hoping that season 3 is a step up in quality from season 2, but I think it will be. I thought season 2 was good though. Let's see, who do I have next? Myranda, what anime do you want to talk about for your favorite?
Tokyo Ghoul. Okay, Tokyo Ghoul is literally the only anime that I have been able to stick around for more than one season. It's very palatable. In my personal opinion, I think that have either of you watched it?
I've seen the first and second episode because Amber suggested me watch it. I only got through the first couple because I was watching Hellsing Ultimate while I was watching it.
Then I'm not exactly sure how to try and sell it to you and make it seem like it's appealing. It's really just something that I bumped into. And I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And then I got into it. I think that the characters, this is going to be really vague. So it's going to seem like I didn't watch it, but it's the notes that I have. Characters are nice. Hold on. I really like just... I really like the concept just in general of these people, they're blending, and you don't really know that they're fools. And
I see where you're coming from.
Huh?
I see where you're coming from with that. I see what you're coming from. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I thought they're pretty good. I don't know if it's something I can get into. I definitely want to try because Amber, she was like, she tried to sell me on it really, really hard. She was telling me about how much she loved it and everything. So I really want to give it another shot and try and get through more of it. But I started that Hellsing Ultimate, and man, that show is fucking badass. It's like,
I never watched that, but you always recommended it. From what I saw, it was really fun good.
It's long, and that's the thing. It's the longest. Well, it's only 12 episodes, but the episodes are an hour apiece. There's no filler. It's straight manga to anime, scene by scene, and that's like because they did a Hellsing series in the early 2000s while the manga was still coming out, and they only were halfway done with the manga, so they did the show, and then the rest of the show is just filler, with the filler ending that isn't.
Wow.
Yeah. So then they brought it back with Hellsing Ultimate, and they redid the whole thing just like the manga, and it turned out really, really well. But I see what you're coming from, Miranda, and I've heard a lot of people say really good things about Tokyo Ghoul. So I do wanna give that a shot one day.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, I want you to tell us about your favorite anime.
There's two I'm probably going to talk about.
That's fine.
The first one, Hunter x Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
I have heard of it.
I've watched it about a total of 4 times.
Oh wow.
Now I have here. It has 73 episodes, so by far it's the longest one that I've watched. So that's a decent good bit of episodes. And actually, now that I think of it, I think there's only about 3 episodes of filler.
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually really good. 70 episodes of pure just arc. Now it's actually not even finished. The problem with that, the manga creator takes year-long hiatuses on the mangas,
Mm-hmm.
and they're currently working on another arc called the Dark Continent arc.
Yeah.
And it's so original with the fact. Now okay, really quick. In Naruto, they have aura, right? Their chakra and whatnot. They use their inner aura, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same concept in Hunter x Hunter. Except they use it in way different ways. You can use it to shield yourself. You can use it to expand fear onto people. And there are these people. There's a group of 13 spiders. They're actually robbers. And they go around. And I remember actually you find out they killed an entire clan just because their eyes turned scarlet, and they sold them to people. And it's just so good because you can see everyone use different powers, and if you put a condition on your power, that limits yourself to a specific thing, like Kurapika, if he ever uses his for evil, it'll stab his own heart. So that makes everything else he uses stronger,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that he's doing it for good because he's actually the last surviving clan member with the scarlet eyes, and his entire goal is to hunt down those people. That not only sets up his story from the beginning, but it keeps going through the different layers where you find out these people. And not only do these people, Gon, Killua, Kurapika, and Leorio, they find the Hunter Association, they go through the Hunter exam, and continue on their path. They cross paths with these spiders. They cross paths with people who they hate, who they fight later on and earlier on. It's just good because they bond more, and you actually get loads of backstory into each character.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do you get backstory into them, they continue the backstory on and actually finish those, which I really want because they bring up their past experiences, what made them who they are, what made them want to do what they did, and go with it. They continue that story, so it's not like you only learn their backstory and then that's it. They continue to add on to that and truly give you the full experience of not only the character but what they can fully accomplish.
So,
and it's really good, and I would recommend it to anyone.
So, like, you were talking about, like, their backstories and stuff. So, is the anime not in chronological order? Like, it goes out of order a whole bunch to tell, like, backstories and stuff, like episodes?
Sometimes you'll get flashbacks, which do take up a good chunk of the episode, which I for one, personally enjoy.
I like those too.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
You find out about, like, family members from the past whenever you're, like, just talking, whenever their son's just talking or whatever, which is a very specific thing, because one's looking for his father. You find out stuff about why he left, where he is, what he's doing with his life, what he's done across the world, and that's just in the middle of an episode, and then it continues on with his son's storyline and how he's going about his entire life, which all the characters get flashbacks during middle of episodes, and not only gives more content, not only makes you feel more for the character, but makes you like the character more. It's just really good with what they do with flashbacks.
Before you go on to your second one, like, going off with, like, some of that stuff you said, like, you're really selling me on that anime. It sounds really good. Parts of it remind me of Persona, the PS4 game. But, like, the flashback stuff and stuff like that, I really like it. And a show that I think, it's not an anime, but a show I think did that perfectly, the flashback, was that HBO Watchmen series I saw. Because there's, like, they set up this really serious moment, and there's this big plot reveal, okay? The third to last episode. And then the episode in between them, they do a flashback because, minor spoiler, they reveal this character the whole time was Dr. Manhattan, this alien from Mars, and he shapeshifted to be a human and marry this woman. And at the end, like shit was hitting the fan, and he had to come back with his powers to be Dr. Manhattan. And he comes back, and you're like, you can ask Sam. Like I was telling her, I was like, I knew he was gonna be Dr. Manhattan just the way he spoke, because they did something really smart to reward people who read the comic. They made him say, like her husband, like out of context, say lines that Dr. Manhattan said in the comic. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was really, and then I was like, that's got to be Dr. Manhattan. And then sure enough, it was Dr. Manhattan. But they do this hour-long flashback, you know, every episode's an hour, where it goes back to Vietnam where they met. And it's like, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me about that.
Really fucking good. And like, there's a lot of flashbacks in that series. And the Watchmen graphic novels like that too. Like the comedian's funeral, like in the movie and the comic, like during his funeral, the camera pans to each character and there's a flashback to like a moment with the comedian. Like for this one girl, it's like her mother, because her mother was almost raped by the comedian, Silk Spectre. And it's like a flashback to that. And then for Dr. Manhattan, it's a flashback to Vietnam. And then like, because the comedian and Dr. Manhattan won Vietnam for America. And then for the owl guy, I can never remember his name, his flashback was like them like shooting tear gas at protesters and stuff. Like they each had an individual memory of the comedian, and they showed it during the funeral. And I thought Watchmen, like the comic, the movie, and the show, they do flashbacks really well. And that's something I really like, is the flashback. That's one of my favorite methods of storytelling. And I'm you kind of sold me on it with because you already know the character, and then you get like a glimpse of their past. Instead of it starting at that point, you get to go back and see it. And I really like that, especially like when you're really confused, like I was when I was watching Watchmen. Like there's this character, and you don't know where the fuck he is. Like he's on this planet, and he's fishing babies out of this river, and he's like putting them in this machine, and they grow up, and you're like, where the fuck? And it turns out he's on this planet that Dr. Man, like at one point you think it's a prison, but it's revealed like Dr. Manhattan created this place for him on the moon of Jupiter, Europa, and you don't learn that till like one of the last episodes, and it's really, really good. But to go on your other anime you wanted to talk about.
This one actually aired in the 1990s. It's called Trigun. Now, whenever you're talking about Cowboy Bebop, and I said I heard one, or I knew one about the same, it's on this desert, desolated planet. Cowboys, basically, and their future technology. However, you only see a few glimpses of a spaceship. There is space travel. They give a flashback into instead of just throwing you right in the backstory and then the character, they give you the character. They give you the main character, whose name is Vash the Stampede. His story, it goes that he destroyed an entire city in the blink of an eye, and he has I think it's $60 million double dollar bounty. That's their currency, double dollars. He has 60 million or billion, I think. Don't quote me. And his story, as everyone hates him and is hunting him down, trying to kill him, it's his story about how he copes with it, how he gets through it, and how he ends it. And not only do you get to see his development into a truly magnificent character, you get the backstory of the horrors that he had to see coming to this planet. Not only his ship carried all these humans to go here, but horrible things happen, and it's just, I don't want to spoil it because I really think you guys should probably watch it, or anyone else watching who's interested. You see the development, and not only is the development good, the development is one of the best I've seen. It's better than Naruto developing into the Hokage. It's better than Goku developing into the best Super Saiyan ever. It's truly the development that you really have to watch this to understand. And with 26 episodes, it's not long, but it's a perfect amount to just sit and watch for a whole week or so if you're just watching a few episodes at a time. And I really think it's probably my second favorite of all time, and Hunter x Hunter as my first.
I'm looking it up. I actually had like a DVD with like a couple episodes on it, like 3 or 4, like it was a volume, and I never watched it. I think it's in my closet. It's like episode 8, 9, 10, and 11. Yeah, it's like a random few episodes. I got it for free, and I can't remember when I got it. But the case always looked interesting. I never watched it because it's 4 episodes in the middle of the series, you know. But I think that it might be somewhere I can stream it because that does sound.
Yeah, I can send you a link of somewhere to stream it if you want.
I think it's on. Yeah, it's on Hulu. So I have Hulu. I could definitely check that out. And I just
it's really good.
To kind of go off of the thing that I wrote, like the notes for the things we want to talk about. There's one last thing I wanted to kind of bring up, and it's an anime that I know me and Matt have watched. I don't know if Miranda, if you watched it. I just wanted to quickly talk about Sword Art Online. Miranda, is that something you've seen?
No.
She hasn't.
So,
well, I like the first season.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Like, if we were talking like how Miranda was talking about like a second season of a show ruining potential, that is like the best example I could think of a show ruining potential with the second season.
Well, if that makes you mad, they're making another season.
And that's like 4 or 5, isn't it?
Yeah, and not only did they make movies, which definitely ruined the series, they're making more. I think they should have left it. Now, I think Alfheim Online was really cool. Don't get me wrong. I thought Alfheim was a cool idea.
The second
I hated
part of it,
Gun Gale Online. I hated Gun Gale.
Oh yeah. Well, for me, like, Alfheim was like part of the story, even though it was weaker than the first few episodes. It was still really good in my opinion. And like, I'm looking at these seasons now and like, what the fuck happened?
I don't know. The first season, it had so much potential if they wanted to continue it, or they could have just left it there.
Yeah.
But like, it was so good. It was so good.
I agree.
The character development you see throughout, whenever Asuna and what's his name?
Is it Kirito? Is it Kirito?
Yeah, Kirito. Whenever you see Kirito and Asuna, they bond. It's really good, and that's actually true character development in my opinion. But then you get Gun Gale.
Yeah, I couldn't even get through it.
Yeah, it was bad. It's really, really bad.
And the other thing that is like that's like the first anime that's ever made me cry. Like the what scene I'm talking about? The fucking Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like episode 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's really bad.
What a punch
Rudolph
in
the
the
Red-Nosed
gut.
Reindeer was really, really bad.
To give you guys in the stream some context in this anime, about 3 or 4 episodes in, it's like if virtual reality went too far. It's kind of like the premise of the show. Like the characters get sucked into this world, and if they die in the game, they die in real life. And this girl dies on Christmas. And if you died on Christmas, wasn't it you get to send like a Christmas card or something, even if you die?
Yeah, she got to send a message.
Yeah, she got to send a message, and she sends him a message, and it's like telling him not to be sad, and then she starts humming Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and he's like, she just died, and he's like crying. I was like, oh my god, like I was in tears, man. That was it fucked me up. It fucked me up real bad. It was a real punch in the gut right there.
It was really crazy.
And I thought the show like concluded really well. Even like the Alfheim stuff wasn't as good as like the first arc, I still thought it concluded fairly well. And then like they started like the other seasons, and I'm like, and I just saw like season 3 is like 37 episodes or some shit. Like,
yeah, I'm looking at it now. Alicization or Alicization.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
It doesn't look good. It really doesn't.
I don't think so either. I agree with that. It doesn't look very good.
They have 37 episodes. I feel like season 2 should have been the end.
Yeah. Well, no. Alfheim is technically season 1.
Yeah, you're right.
That's even how Wikipedia like groups it. Like the first 2 arcs.
I feel like season 2 with Gun Gale honestly should have been the end. If they really did want to continue it, then maybe they could have just made a spin-off movie or something.
Yeah, or they could have done something with different characters,
Yeah, I think they could have. Yeah, that probably, or an OVA, just a few OVAs or something,
Yeah,
because they always do that with other animes. They'll just throw together like 3 episodes that are like 20 minutes and then just call it OVA. Yeah, I think that probably would have been their best bet instead of just making a whole new 37 episode season.
I agree with that.
It sucked. The show did have really good potential.
Oh yeah, it did. The first season is a real good anime, but everything past that is just terrible. Is
I 100% agree with that. And I feel like if anyone does want to watch Sword Art, just stop after the first season.
Just pretend it's the ending. That's your best bet. Just, it is a book end. You don't need a continuation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Matt, Myranda, anything else you want to bring up before we've moved to wrap it up?
I think I said everything I needed to say.
What about you, Myranda? Anything else? You've been quiet.
I
didn't hear what she said.
think I'm good.
Oh, she's good. Okay. Well, that ended up being a little bit over an hour, but that's fine. Sometimes it'll run that way. I wanted to thank everybody for watching, and I wanted to thank my guests. You guys were awesome tonight. We did a really good show, in my opinion. I thought that was pretty damn good. Next week, great job, guys. Thanks, Sam. Next week, I'm probably going to do 2 more podcasts. I'm not entirely sure who the guests are going to be yet. I'll probably do it Tuesday and Friday again. I'm off both days, so I'll have more time to work on them. This kind of I threw this itinerary together while I was at work. So, yeah, next week, expect 2 more podcasts, and everybody have a great night. Thank you for watching.